Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 20 horror anime of the century so far. Yes, for this list, we're going to be looking at the very best that anime has to offer in the horror genre. Only anime that has been released from the year 2000 or later will be counted. Are you horrified by our picks and think we missed some major scares? Let us know in those comments below. And as always, if there's an anime list you want to see, go to my Twitter at AshJBo and let me know. Number 20, Mieruko-chan. Comedy horror anime are a special breed. It's rare to pull off such drastically different genres successfully, but Mieruko manages to create an enjoyable hybrid that is both funny and genuinely creepy to watch. The story revolves around high schooler Miko, who has the unfortunate ability to see grotesque ghosts all around her.
今日はさっさと寝よう。
She becomes determined to ignore their presence, and much of the tension comes from her trying to resist the urge to pay attention to the genuinely terrifying creatures wreaking havoc on her friends and her life. Number 19, Dead Man Wonderland. Ganta's life gets turned upside down when his entire class is killed by a mysterious man in red. Convicted as a murderer, Ganta is sent to the theme park prison known as Dead Man Wonderland, where the prisoners are used as entertainment for visitors and forced to fight for their lives in terrifying death matches. If you're looking for a bloody romp, look no further, as Ganta's ability allows him to control his own blood as a weapon. As he fights for his very life in brutal combat, he also learns more about the dark conspiracy surrounding the mysterious man who had him locked up to begin with.
What is this?
Number 18, Umineko When They Cry. The When They Cry franchise is synonymous with animated nightmare fuel, and this entry is no exception. What starts off as an awkward family gathering becomes altogether more gruesome when many of them begin to perish in mysterious ways. The series plays out like a giant murder mystery, the horror of the situations aided by the fact that the deaths seem almost supernatural in execution. This series has every element that makes for a great time. A puzzling epitaph that must be solved, a threatening letter from someone claiming to be a legendary witch, and a huge body count. Number 17, Terraformers. 2 words, alien cockroaches. When scientists send cockroaches to Mars in order to terraform the planet for humanity, evolution decides to change things up. These alien bugs show off their strength to the fullest when human expeditions arrive to the Red Planet and are subsequently torn to pieces. And just like that, mankind is at war with a monstrously violent breed of what many would consider one of Earth's most disgusting insects. This show is the definition of worst case scenario. Number 16, Hell Girl. An anthology of wicked mortals being sent to hell, all tied together by anime's cutest interpretation of Charon.
Oh, pitiful shadow lost in the darkness, bringing torment and pain to others.
In this world, people who have been wronged and have a desperate need for revenge can call on the supernatural being Enma to torture the offender and drag them to hell. But to do so, the summoner must also agree to go to hell when they die themselves. This anime is a brutal look at the lowest humanity has to offer, and the enormous lengths that people will go to for vengeance. The only thing more potent than the hellish death scenes are the questions lingering around if it was really worth it in the end.
This is vengeance, so I'm to ferry you to hell.
Number 15, Gantz O. Taking the rawness of the original series and adding a beautifully animated layer to it, this flick uses its new visuals to their full potential when bringing the most disturbing monsters to life. Focusing on secondary protagonist Kato, on a solo outing, the film has him struggle to survive against an ever-increasing horde of alien beasts on the prowl, where it quickly becomes clear that futuristic weaponry can only do so much. It's a great addition for those who enjoyed Gantz's first outing, but also a hell of a time for those looking for some CGI dismemberment and destruction. Number 14, Ajin, Demi-Human. How would you feel if you found out you were immortal? That's what Nagai discovers one day, but he's anything but thrilled. As unkillable beings with ghostly bodyguards known as Ajin, Nagai and many other youngsters are captured by the government and put through painful experimentation to learn more about their abilities and to harvest their reproducible organs.
Not that. Anything but that. I can't.
Despite being unable to die, the show never fails to instill a sense of fear and anxiety on Nagai's part. Ajin manages to tell a thrilling and compelling story while leaning into the darker aspects of superpowers and the abject cruelty of human nature. Number 13, The Promised Neverland. An exquisite example of a show's tone and visuals contradicting each other, yet still harmonizing to create an incredible piece of art. On the surface, it looks like the story of happy kids growing up on a loving orphanage, only for it to take one hell of a sinister turn when the eldest children discover that their caretakers have terrible things in store for them. The first season of the show was wholly engrossing and was packed with bombshell moments that amplified the sense of helplessness at every step. Just don't mention season 2.
ああ、かわいそうに。私の可愛いエマ。だから諦めてと言ったのよ。
Number 12, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. If you're tired of seeing the same old zombies and are ready for change, give this a shot. The infected creatures known as Kabane are what happens when your typical undead are put through the Industrial Revolution, becoming a horde of armored monsters that force what's left of humanity aboard steam trains, all in the vain hope of outrunning them. With some seriously metal moments in between all the zombie carnage, Kabaneri has become something of horror's disregarded stepchild, but one you seriously need to consider checking out. Number 11, Dorohedoro. Unique doesn't even come close to describing this one. In a world of murderous magicians, multiple worlds, and classism, we have Kaiman, a killer searching for the spellcaster that turned his head into that of a reptile. And that's just barely touching the insanity. The series is renowned both for its story and its brutality, which wonderfully translates even when saturated with all that Netflix 3D. Hard to say what's more striking, the violence or watching Noi flex those guns.
Noi! Cut!
Number 10, Tokyo Ghoul. Poor Kaneki. Starting out as a normal boy, his life is altered forever when his crush turns out to be a flesh-eating ghoul, resulting in he himself ending up as a hybrid and plunging him into a world where you either eat or get eaten. Censored scenes aside, Tokyo Ghoul, especially its first season, beautifully leans into the savagery of ghoul culture, elaborating on how there are monsters on both sides, monsters that aren't afraid to kill and maim in the name of a dubious cause. Hold on to your lunch.
僕に食われても仕方ないよね。
Number 9. Shiki. This won't be the first time you'll see vampires here, but this just might be their creepiest interpretation.
Whatever it is, I'm not gonna let it kill my village.
Shiki is certainly a slow but steady burn, and one that grows in intensity until it's a raging inferno.
ダメだ。もう溝辺町でもあの日は見えるだろう。
It is heavily atmospheric and relies on its characters and environment to instill a sense of the inevitable, with a rural setting that pits terrified citizens against a growing number of infected bloodsuckers. Only for mob justice and paranoia to slowly blur the lines between victim and killer, leading to some incredibly uncomfortable moments that still chill us. Number 8. Parasyte. Undoubtedly the pinnacle of body horror and body snatching in anime, this sci-fi slaughterfest sees average student Shinichi infected with an alien parasite, only for them to be forced to work together when the rest of the creature's shape-shifting race comes a-calling. Gore is the name of the game here, blending together visceral action with all kinds of horrific imagery, to the extent that you're left wondering who to trust. It's one of those series that excels and revels in the bloodshed, but also transcends the genre thanks to the strength of its characters. Even the most squeamish should venture out to give this one a go. Number 7. School Live. Delusions are a powerful thing.
Senpai! Ah, Mii-kun! どうしたの?
What appears to be a happy day in the life of high schooler Yuki takes a tragic twist when it's revealed she's living in a fantasy world of her own making, where everything is a slice of life. In the real world, her friends are helping to shelter her from the zombie apocalypse that's overrun everything and has already killed many of their friends. Since Yuki is an unreliable narrator, the stark contrast between her waking dream and the truth is jarring, while her shattered psyche makes for an unusual watch that has you waiting for the dark reality to finally bring Yuki down to earth. Number 6. High School of the Dead. Bless this lewd, crazy, stupid, undead adventure. After the world is overtaken by a zombie outbreak, a group of high school students struggle to survive in the world and make it to a safe zone.
これだ。これなのだ。
Make no mistake, there are some genuine moments of horror here, from asshole survivors to people getting devoured by the living dead. But there's also the other stuff. High School of the Dead knows what it is, and it proudly sticks to it. Bullet-defying boobs and shooting zombies go hand in hand, apparently. Number 5. Another. When you have such an enticing mystery acting as a foundation, there's always room for scares to flourish. Of course, having a catalogue of crazy deaths helps too. When Koichi transfers to a new school, he discovers his classmates appear to be hiding a dark secret in regards to a terrible event from years prior, along with a certain girl with an eye patch who happens to be the key to tying everything together.
The school is a place that is very close to death, especially the 9th grade's class 3.
Even if you find the narrative to be subpar in places, can you really go wrong with this many creative demises? Death by Umbrella will never not be amazing. Number 4, Hellsing Ultimate. Hail to the king, or should we say, Count. Hellsing, as an organization, hunts down the things that go bump in the night, and happens to employ the best in the business, Alucard, the greatest and most sadistic of all vampires.
Now, Luke Valentine, it's time to educate you on how a real vampire does battle.
Taking on everyone from crazy Catholics all the way to a resurrected Third Reich.
I like war. No? Friends, I love war.
Alucard's antics leave an ocean of blood in his wake. The series eagerly indulges in its almost pulpy gothic aesthetic, while sprinkling in ridiculous action now and again to display just how much of a monster Alucard can be when let off his leash.
Dracula!
Number 3, Attack on Titan. A landmark in both horror and anime in general, Attack on Titan more than lives up to the hype in every regard. The animation is smooth yet frantic, the story is layered and engrossing, while the fight scenes are beautifully brutal. When the giant humanoids known as Titans break through his home, kill his mother, and shatter his life, young Eren Yeager vows to exterminate the hulking creatures lurking at their door, only for things to spiral in ways no one could have predicted. From a horror perspective, the way in which characters are so mercilessly killed off more than earns the anime its blood-soaked stripes. Number 2, Devilman Crybaby. Borderline psychedelic, deeply upsetting, timeless in its carnage, Devilman's rebirth in this latest iteration is as violent as it's ever been, with every moment of Go Nagai's magnum opus captured with dazzling animation. Going from meek beanpole to absolute Chad, who happens to be part demon, Akira's desire to protect his loved ones from the forces of hell takes the darkest of turns when faced with the fragile nature of mankind's so-called civility. Prepare yourself, because this one refuses to hold back. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Higurashi When They Cry series. A masterclass in anxiety-inducing storytelling, this franchise has done nothing but build on its labyrinth of unnerving truths over the last couple of decades. The story first revolves around teenager Keiichi, who moves to a small village and learns that every year people die and disappear after the annual festival. Slowly, the cast around him seem to grow more sinister and the secrets more deadly.
この拷問はね、とってもシンプル。右手と左手15本ずつ、関節に釘を打っていく。
The seasons follow different points of view and lead you down a bloody and unpleasant path, made all the more complex when time travel and alternative routes come into play, all of which are, naturally, harrowing to behold.
この死を私は忘れない。
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.